Oh boy, we are live at Waffle Board Breaks. How's everybody doing? Oh, Tampa just scraped away game four. Even that series going back to Tampa. Oh man, I said you want to make your bones in the playoffs. You got to put teams away. Cooch and Hagel, couple goals tonight, hooked up, and obviously Vasilevsky big had to kill a penalty late 6-on-4. The goalie pulled. Man, I mean, Tampa decided to blow out Sunday, the first two games. Obviously, the Swords blew out Boston in Boston. Absolutely crazy. Um, and then, of course, Colorado late added a bunch of goals to sweep out the Kings in the end. Anze Kopitar's NHL career. So that's the end of his career. The Kings bowed out in a sweep to the Avs. And then, of course, we have the late game tonight. Oilers already up 1-0 on the Ducks. We'll see how that one goes after the Ducks stomped all over them last game. But the Cooch and Eagle and Vasilevsky, and obviously McDonough had some nice blocks at the end on the kill. Like I said, it's if they're healthy, obviously with Sorelli helping the kill, McDonough and Cernak, that's obviously no Edmund, for quite some time, and he was a shell of himself most of the year, but they played good team defense, good penalty kills. Their power play is still not where it needs to be, but the Montreal fans are quite disappointed. They're like the polar opposite right now of the Stars fans. In Buffalo, man, they are absolutely insane. I mean, you walked into Boston up 2-1, and you decided to stomp them. You put the good foot on them, and they just blew out the Bruins. Like I said, the Bruins, they said the talking heads talking about the Bruins look like they're sleeping early. Man, Buffalo did not have any mercy on them. They stomped all over. I think all but two players, forwards, only two forwards on Buffalo didn't have a point. That's absolutely insane. And the defenseman, Darlene didn't have a point. He's like he's obviously their captain, their superstar defenseman, but most of their points scores, they're bounced up and down the line. Quinn, I mean, everybody, Tuck, Thompson. I mean, that team was they just scored at will. So, I mean, Buffalo's probably going to end that one, coming back for game 5, and they'll end that series. Like I said, I always felt the 2 and 3s were the best series. I mean, these teams are as evenly matched as you can get. People forget, I mean, Tampa just barely edged them out at the end of the season, and that's because they had that hot streak where they could do no wrong, and then post-Olympic break, they kind of stumbled a bit. I mean, they weren't a bad team, but Tampa obviously knows that it's a marathon, not a sprint, but they just didn't look good. I mean, it looked like there was something off. I mean, they had guys in and out of the lineup. Obviously you hope they get their heads on straight in the playoffs, but all square, 2-2 going back to Tampa. Obviously, I mean, it's going to be a war for either one of these teams to win the series. I mean, I still think the best team in the East is Carolina, and Buffalo is just behind them. They're proven, obviously they were a little worrisome the first couple games. The big comeback and win game 1 and then getting beat up pretty bad in game 2. But, they worked them over in Boston, and they're proving that they're for real and deep. They went to Lion instead of UPL. Looks like Lion's going to be their goalie going forward. So, that's maybe sometimes that takes the switch to trigger the team as a whole. But obviously, Lion will be the goalie in game 5. I don't think they'll go back to UPL at this point in time unless the wheels start to fall off. But so I mean, when you have two goalies, I mean, they always say when you have two goalies, you don't have one goalie. That's not true anymore. The NHL is built for team depth, especially in goal. Think about the Golden Knights a couple years ago when they won the cup. They ended up playing like I think 5 goalies towards the end of the year. They brought in Quick at the deadline. He was there. Adrian Hill went from being backup or an afterthought basically, and he ended up getting the starting goalie during the Cup finals. So it's they had guys that you don't even remember that were on that team that were they're there for just a cup of coffee, like Bassant, like those guys. Like, so I mean, you got to have depth in goal. Obviously, you have to have two goalies that can go at a moment's notice. But yeah, I think Buffalo. I mean, Lyon, they definitely don't mind playing him in net. He looked great the last couple of games. Obviously, lots of goals. It looks easy to look good in net when you're up 6-7-1, or not that actually give up a goal, shorthanded goal in the last minute, but shake that off. Go home up 3-1 and end that series. Tampa series is a war. Carolina, of course, they smoked Ottawa, swept them out. Colorado swept out the Kings. And then obviously the games out west, the Minnesota Dallas keep going overtime, double overtime. That's a legit series. We'll see who comes out of there. So that's very similar to the Montreal Tampa series to me, because either of those teams, is going to face a war to get out of that series. And then we'll see. Obviously, the Flyers up now 3-1. And they run into Carolina. So Flyers end up knocking out Pittsburgh. I guess tomorrow is their next game. The Flyers can close out that series up 3-1 right now. They run into Carolina, which Carolina has not shown any weakness so far. Obviously, Colorado really, kind of worked over the Kings. We'll see. They run into the winner of the Minnesota Dallas series in round 2. So that's pretty sad. We're going to lose one of those top 3 teams in this next round, because we're going to lose one this round, and then obviously they have to play Colorado next round. So I mean, obviously the semifinals is going to be interesting out west, because I think this round is pretty much the top. After this round, you're going to have the 2 best teams left in the Western Conference. So and we'll see. Like I said, it's a war of attrition. Buffalo, Carolina, and Montreal, to me, are the best 3 teams in the East, with Tampa right there. Tampa is as good. At the end of the year, all 3 of those teams played better than Tampa. So, but obviously, even when they went head-to-head, Montreal got some late wins up against them. Buffalo smoked them a couple times. Carolina worked Tampa. So, seeing those teams up close, how good and deep they are. And, if they can keep doing it in the playoffs, obviously that's what we're going to see. So, it's a war. But, it was upsetting to see the first couple games today were blowouts, Buffalo not to be expected to blow out Boston, even though it's a 1-4 game. But Colorado expected to sweep the Kings, which they did. So, got a 2-3 right now, Tampa, Montreal. Tampa's even the series up. And then we got a 2-3 right now in Edmonton and the Ducks. And the Ducks up 2-1, but now Edmonton's up 2-0 in that game. So Edmonton's looking to get back off the schneid. There was a little bit. I know McDavid got dinged up a little bit early in that series, but hopefully, he's back at it. I know Nuge just got a power play goal for the second one. Kasperi Kapanen got the first goal. So it's obviously McDavid had an assist on the second goal. So obviously Draisaitl looked good. He had a couple goals early in that series, but down 2-1, and they pretty much, if they want to get back to the finals again, Edmonton, this is a big step for them. So, up 2-0 right now in the first. They're hopefully see if they make no mistakes the rest of the way. I'm not rooting for or against Edmonton. Obviously, we have the best player on the planet and one of the top 10 players on the planet. You don't want to see them bounced early, because you like to see your best players playing as deep as they can, especially after we lost a lot of the good young players, not making the playoffs, obviously with Celebrini, of course, and Matthew Schaefer. But we got some great players, some of the superstars in the game. Obviously, the top 3 scorers in the league. Still, actually, top 4, no, 3, because Celebrini was 4th. Obviously, Suzuki was over 100 points. Caulfield scored 51 goals. McKinnon led the league in goals. McDavid, Cooch, and McKinnon, top 3 scorers in the league. Obviously, Tampa's got 40 goal scorers. 40 goal scorers all over the league. But I'd like to see them go as long as they can. Kinsel got one tonight. That was huge. That was his first goal in the series after having 5 or 6 assists. But think 6 assists. So he's been playing well. He hit the crossbar earlier in the game. Just missed a tying goal at the end of the second period. So I mean, Gensel's still flying. Obviously, Cooch has one goal. They're worried about, he hasn't scored in like 16 playoff games. Yeah, but look at the number of assists. He's a facilitator more than a goal scorer, though. If they need him to score, they need him to score. Point is the one that worries me. Point got a power play goal, but he hasn't been himself all year. They're going to need him to continue to bury pucks because Hagel stepped up and he's been amazing. Gensel and Cooch are amazing. And Radish, I'm a little concerned. I mean, we're not seeing he's getting the big point shots, but they're not getting through. He's not fighting in the corners. You need him to start banging in because Tampa doesn't have one of those freewheelers. They don't have a Quinn Hughes back there. They don't have a Cale Makar. They don't have a Lane Hudson. Like, they don't have that type of defenseman on their blue line. They have a guy that powers the puck towards the net. Hopefully Cooch sets him up. And, he puts the puck right where it needs to be and blasts it. And it hasn't been there for a little while. Obviously, it's slowed toward the end of the year. He had a great season, 23 goals, I think. But it really hasn't been clicking lately. And they kind of need that. They need some point production. Obviously, Mosier got the game winner in the second game in overtime. But like I said, it's not something you expect from Mosier. But we need to see Radish start to get some points, shots through, maybe get some rebound goals, some junk stuff down low because, Perry's going to take a beating. Gensel's got great hands. Point is a release man, and Hagel does everything. So Tampa's got a good team. I mean, Montreal's going to have to bring their best to beat them, but Tampa, I think Montreal is the better team. They're younger, obviously the youngest team in the playoffs. I just don't know if they're able to get over that hump. Obviously, Toronto acted like they won the Stanley Cup when they knocked out Tampa a year or two ago, and which was not true. But like I said, these baby steps for these teams. Obviously, Montreal as the youngest team in the league. They need to get and pay their dues in the playoffs. Tampa's a pretty veteran core. Obviously, Gensel won cups in Pittsburgh, but he's been there. Hagel, those guys haven't won a cup yet. Radish, Mosier, those guys haven't won a cup yet. But there you go. Dale stepping in and grab the Schultz. Okay, very good. I'm not going to make everybody wait for the Derek step in. I can make him a community spot if nobody wants to grab him, but we'll get going in just a second. There we go. Very good. I've been grabbing a couple jerseys that I'm really happy to find lately. One of them is going to replace one of my PC jerseys, but I have to send it out for a JSA. But the jersey coming out of my PC is already I haven't put it in the box here, but it's already going to be part of the next reload. I've got about 10 or so lined up. Of course, I need to there's one I just won that I need to get back from JSA. I haven't sent it out yet, but like I said, I mean, they've been few and far between. Obviously, the abs. He's looking for the abs mojo. Second to the last spot claimed. Looking to see if he can get the abs mojo, the sweep action. But like I said, good luck to everybody. Like I said, I shipped out everything. I have no jerseys right now to ship out to you guys. You guys should receive your packages over the next couple days, probably by Wednesday or Thursday at the latest, depending on where you are. I know we got some Midwestern people, North Dakotas, what is he? We got Utah's, though Big Al's not here, so I don't have anything shipping out to him. But like I said, you guys, if you're expecting the jersey, I know James won one recently. That should be on the way to you. Like I said, I know it's shipped out. Yeah, Thomas, yours is shipped out. So Thomas, expect yours this week. James got the Joel Quenneville. That's shipped out. I know I shipped out a double box out to Dale. So you guys have done well. You guys have beat me up pretty good on this reload. We're down from 17 to 14. So we hit 3 in the first 4 boxes. From the reload, we've hit 3 new jerseys. Still got some good old stuff to hit. Not set up to do any doubles like we did with the Olmark and Miller. Speaking of which, Keandre Miller, I saw him get an assist on one of the last goals for Carolina. He's playing pretty well, getting points for Carolina. But like I said, Freddie Anderson is one of our oldest boxes. He's obviously swept out Ottawa. He was on fire. Obviously, it's a Freddie Anderson Toronto Maple Leafs jersey, but Freddie is absolutely on fire right now. Like probably, I would say he's probably the best goalie playing, like playing the best goal of anybody in the playoffs right now. Obviously, you're not going to, even though Colorado swept, I mean, Wedgwood hasn't been lights out, but obviously they swept out the Kings. But I mean, you just can't rattle Freddie Anderson right now. He is absolutely on fire. So, but Omar played great in that series. So even though they got swept out, he actually stood on his head a couple times. Just Carolina is just so nasty, so deep. So much talent. Like I said, their top line really hadn't started clicking yet. You know, that second line, Taylor Hall was insane. He was crushing people's heads. He was scoring goals. He's just like Taylor Hall looked better. He's looked better to this right now than he has since he was MVP of the league. You know, obviously he was former first overall pick of the Oilers, but he bounced around a little bit. Obviously he was a devil. He was a sword too. But he's fallen into a good spot there in Carolina, and they love having him. He's a good veteran presence playing with, the Stankoven. I mean, Blake. I mean, that team is that's the second line. I mean, the first line, the Aho, the Svechnikov. If they start to click, I mean, that's the East is in trouble because, that team is just an unbelievable unit when they're fully 100% clicking nonstop. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm not rooting for or against Carolina. Obviously, I'm a Bolts fan, but I like to see good hockey. And Carolina's paid some dues. They're ready to get over the hump. Obviously, Florida this playoffs, and Tampa is, almost on death's door if they lost tonight. But if Tampa's tied 2-2, we'll see how it is. But obviously, Carolina is going to run into the Flyers most likely in the second round. So Tampa's going to get them. They're going to have to get to them in the conference finals. But we'll see how it is. Like I said, Carolina starts to get better and better right now as the playoffs go on. And if they can stay healthy, they're just as good a team as they're out there right now. So, but we'll see. Like I said, I watch a lot more of the Eastern Conference during the year than the Western Conference, of course. But I try to catch those late games, before crashing out. And so, that's some of your best players. Like I said, there were 17 of the top 20 scorers in the league, I think, at one point were in the Western Conference. So, the Eastern Conference, you had Cooch, Suzuki, and I couldn't even remember who the other one was. Like, that's how insane the scoring totals were, because the bottom teams got feasted on out west. I mean, obviously the talent is there. I'm not going to say it's completely imbalanced, but the Western Conference top scoring was just piling up points left and right against those bottom dwellers. But that's just how it works sometimes. I mean, Cooch and Suzuki had fantastic years, two of the best scorers in the Eastern Conference. It's just the points were heavy out west. So it was enjoyable watching those late games because it was tough to fall asleep because it seemed like the goal horn was going pretty regularly. And both teams, too. There was a lot of bad goaltending, felt like out west. But we'll see how it goes. So 2 boxes tonight. Can't wait to see what comes out. Like I said, we have just the 5 boxes from December, 3 from January, 5 from February, 10 from the March reload, and 14 from the April reload. So 37 boxes, 24 from the last 2 reloads, and 13 from everything before that. So it's kind of split, third, 13, 10, and 14, from April, March, and everything before it. Like I said, we're going to break. Derek Stepan will be a community spot. If Derek Stepan hits, it will be random to everybody in the break. So we'll see if that happens. Like I said, I don't know which box he's in. I just know which 2 or 3 boxes he's in, but I do not know where he is. So no box is guaranteed right now. I have no guarantee of what's in any of the boxes. Every run's got at least 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or 14. So we'll see how it is. So let's get going to this. Very good. Like I said, I've been grabbing stuff little by little. Not been heavily grabbing stuff, but like I said, I'm up to about 10, I think, for the next reload. And they do have a couple I'm looking to win that have to get shipped out for JSA COA. Obviously, we got a couple weeks before we're thinking about reloading, so maybe it's a little short, but we'll see how it goes. But good luck to everybody. Can't wait to see it. I'm not in any breaks this week right now. Big Al, of course, is new. I think he's done. So he has 2 more boxes of his East Coast, and then the new stuff should be coming in. So I saw Josh's post at I think it's Series 13. I think he has 2 more boxes left from the last series, or maybe the new series starts tomorrow. But I'll keep an eye on that. I'll check the post. I didn't check the webpage. Dale was traveling. He's back today. Where is it? What do you got, Daryl? Oh, what, this week? Okay, yeah, I know. I got Brant Clark coming at some point in time. No rush. Obviously, he's now out of the playoffs, but you can ship that out to me when you want. I know you'll get notification of the package coming from me. So that coming, I believe. So I think he's shipping stuff out. So I don't know if anything coming. I think so. So we'll see how it goes. Let me see what we got. There we go. Oh yeah, Dale. That's right, Daryl. Daryl had the double box going to him. So you'll get notification. That should get to you by middle of the week at the latest. So whenever you make a drive over there, grab that. You don't have to ship out to Clark at that point if you don't want. Hopefully you get one of your breaks. The next one you do, I probably will be a single box, but whenever you fill this one, you'll be breaking that. So I think Wednesday you'll probably be breaking that box or the double box. So I'll keep my eyes open. Like I said, we got games pretty much every day this week. Like I said, we got 2 less teams now in the playoffs. 2 teams have been eliminated. So we're down to, we got 14 teams left. And we'll see. The Oilers are up 2-0 still on the Ducks, looking to even that series. But other than that, let's get going. So where's my list? Where's my dice roller? Okay. Move that over here. And where's my list? There's the list. Okay, very good. Okay, of course we do 5 or more for our first box, and then we're going to do 5 or more for the second box. That way we potentially could have a different number of randoms for the 2 boxes. So here they are. Boxes, of course, our oldest boxes, 15 and 17. 15 right now is the only box that was skipped in this last reload. Reload went all the way up to 16. So next reload, if we don't hit 17 in the next dozen or so, we will skip that. Here we go. 33, 43, 47, 48. There we go. All the way up to our 90s. And then, of course, carried over. 99 was hit. So there we go. All the way up to 16. So good luck, everybody. 5 or more in a dice roll for our first box. Is 7, the most common die roll. 7 in a 5 and 2 mode. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. 7 times the list. 1, 37 boxes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the first box tonight we're going to open is going to be box number 9. 9 is in the reload. Reload keep popping up. 9, box number 9. There we go. Reload. You guys been loving the reload. Okay, very good. Back that out. 9 will be going away. Okay, very good. And we're going to do 7 or 5 or more in our roll again. So we got 5 or more. It is 6 times. So box number 9 on 7 randoms. 6 randoms will give us box number, there it is, 36 boxes. 2, 3, 4, 5. And the second box tonight, box number 9 was the first box. Box number 2 is going to be box number 10. Look at that. Back-to-back numbers. 7 times random, 6 times random, 9 and 10. 2 reload boxes. Oh, Lordy. Oh, Lordy. Will not be Derek Steppin, so don't have to worry about the community box. Here we go. Box 10. Here is box 10 as well. Man, just like that, down to 12 from this last reload. 12 from the last reload, 10 from the reload before it. There we go. Very good. Boxes 9 and 10. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Okay, where's my list? Okay. Let me see. We have 14 boxes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different people. 9 different people are active. There we go. Boxes 9. Box 10. Very good. I'm going to fix that up. That gives me 12 boxes left. We'll keep them that way. It won't change anything now. 4 shelves or 3 shelves of 4. And I have everything else still on the table. Leave it that way. That is 23 boxes on the table. So there we go. We'll be down to 35 boxes after tonight's. I'll get the spot price preview up as soon as I can to get us ready for Tuesday nights. 8 p.m. Eastern time will be our claim. Of course, I'll load up the boxes on eBay. I'll load up the spots when we get done here tonight. So we get to watching the late game. So boxes 9, boxes 10. Good luck, everybody. Okay. Whew. I can't believe we got the so many reload boxes so quickly. Man, no mess around. No mess around. Good luck, everybody. Box number 9. What do you got for us? Box 9. Box 9 is going to be, oh, there it is. Current Stanley Cup superstar, Minnesota Wilds, Matt Zuccarello on the New York Ranger Adidas. Zuccarello on the East Coast Sports COA. Matt Zuccarello, nice silver paint pen on the East Coast Sports sticker. And the card, which doesn't match anything. It's not a specific for the hologram. Matt Zuccarello, love the Broadway blue shirts with the fight strap. Matt Zuccarello, very, very nice. Lots of letters. Charge you by letter. Zuccarello. That's an Adidas Pro. No letter on the front, obviously. You had a letter for quite some time as a New York Ranger. 36 in your playbooks. Number 1 in your heart. Matt Zuccarello. Let's see who got that. You have a resident Ranger fan. And that goes to our resident Ranger fan, CK. Congratulations. There it is. Zook. Calling the Zook. He's the kind of player you need on your team to win. Minnesota's finding that out very well. Obviously, they're trying to go deep in the playoff run as the 3rd best team in the Western Conference this year. Zuccarello's been there, and he's putting up great minutes for them. Kind of player you need on your team. I mean, we got the Rangers. The Rangers, miss that kind of player. I mean, he's not going to be a Ranger, but I mean, he's definitely the kind of guy you need. Matt Zuccarello. Hard-nosed, all-around, fantastic player, Matt Zuccarello. Congratulations, CK, on the Zook. Box 10. Just like that, we hardly knew you. 9 and 10 gone from the reload. This is a box. I don't know what's in what, but this is one of the ones. You see, these are the ones I could use. I mean, some of the ones I had to trash, about 10 or so. I mean, a half dozen maybe. I chucked. This is actually one of the better ones. Number 10, box 10. What do you got for us? Woo, very nice. Named after a serial killer, even though it wasn't spelled the same way. Gary Gilmore. This is Doug Gilmore, Chicago Blackhawks on the Reebok. Dougie G, 93, Hall of Famer, Beckett Sports QR code. Hollow sticker. There we go. Doug Gilmore. Very, very nice. Dougie G. Very, very nice. Nice Blue Ink Sig on the Dougie G. Reebok. Just a rip. No fight strap on the Reebok reps. So I've seen Reebok Pros. Always looking for those. Very nice. Love the Reebok texture on the jersey. One of the most beautiful logos in all of sports. Chicago Blackhawks. Doug Gilmore XL. If anybody wants to wear it. Reebok on the Dougie G. Very, very nice. Zuccarello, Doug Gilmore. Congratulations. I do not know who had Dougie G tonight. Let's look. That goes to Shirley Mikey. Congratulations, Shirley Mikey. Complaining you hadn't had a hit in forever. You stepped in, grabbed a couple spots tonight. I think you got a couple, right? Yeah. So there it is. Coming through for you, Shirley Mikey. Getting off the schneid. Grabbing the Dougie G. The most beautiful logo in all of sports. Chicago Blackhawks. I can hear Harvey Danger. Congratulations, Chicago Blackhawks. Dougie G going to Shirley, Mike A, and CK taking home the Max Zuccarello. Very, very nice. Real nice. Two more gone from the reload. Congratulations, guys. Sorry for everybody that did not hit. Your odds are getting better and better. Down to 35 boxes for Tuesday, 34 for Thursday. Just like that. Just into the mid to low 30s, man. It doesn't get better than that. That's the way it rolls here at WAFFLEBOARD Breaks. Every time a box opens, your odds just get better and better. So congratulations. Shirley Mike G is not here live. The Shirley Mike G showed up in the past, but wishing for a hit. But there it is. Shirley Mike G, we came through. Obviously, I know you started to fade behind Ryan S., one of our regular Sundays, and Ron, of course. They have both of them have passed you pretty far in the hits department, but starting to get back up on the list. So congratulations, Shirley Mike A, and to CK hitting the Zook. Congratulations. So thank you much, everybody. And then I'm feeling good with the Bolts squaring up that series. I don't think they're the better team, but they got to win, got to steal at least one at home. Obviously, we'll see what happens in the next couple games. But Tampa, obviously Vassie didn't want to give it up. Cooch started connecting with Hagel. It's just more goals. The first three games are overtime games. Anybody could have won those. And today was a one-goal game, obviously, and they had to kill off a penalty in the last 2.5 minutes. So that's as close as you can get in the series. It's just absolutely unbelievable. It's playoff hockey. That's what we live for. But there we go. Doug Gilmore, Hall of Famer, Chicago Blackhawks, Reebok, and the Matt Zuccarello, New York Rangers, Adidas Pro jersey. So thank you much. Thank you much, everybody. I look forward to seeing you guys back here Tuesday. I will get the spot price preview up as soon as possible. It won't change. I'm trying not to ding you up too much, but like I said, I'm trying to keep it in the same area. We'll see what I can do with the spot price preview. I was working on it a little bit earlier, but I didn't finalize it. So I'll take these into account, and I'll get everything entered to start on Tuesday to end next Sunday. So thank you much. WAFFLEBOARD Breaks appreciates the continued love and support, and playoffs running strong. I'll see you guys back here Tuesday night. So until then, enjoy the games. Probably see a couple more teams closed out. Probably see the Flyers close it out tomorrow against the Pens. I think everybody else is 2-2, I think. If the Oilers can – oh, no, I think the Minnesota might be up on Dallas. I don't know. I have to check the results when I get upstairs. Thank you much, everybody. WAFFLEBOARD Breaks is out. Take care, guys.